had no money, had no growth, no idea what my future would even begin to imagine to look like.
I read this Kobe Bryant quote, if you see him in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear.
Yeah, it feels surreal having like real human beings in front of me who are now like as a part of Blues and Greens in my team.
It really does feel like a new chapter.
If you can't service your clients, your members, you're nothing. But just fucking back yourself in, keep showing up, and I just tell myself like, these are the days you'll remember for a lifetime. It will never be like this ever again.
Oh shit. Yep. Across the road. It's been a pretty unexpectedly heavy few days. A few little curveballs which I didn't see coming, which puts you back, or at least like has caught me well and truly off guard.
American adolescence is in crisis. Within the past decade, the teen rate has surged by nearly 40%, and close to 1 in 5 high school students reported they'd seriously considered.
Everybody's miserable.
And I think mental health has been a massive one for our generation.
Something I've been saying a lot to new mentors coming on, and as well as like existing mentors, is that what teenage boys struggle with now, and a lot of the boys that come through the program, is like they're in a dark tunnel, but they don't know that at the end of the tunnel there is light, because they've never been through the other side before and they've never seen the light at the end of a tunnel. And I think our role as mentors is to just come in and show them the light, and less about telling them what to do, but more about just being that guiding light through a dark tunnel. New chapter begins.
We're starting to settle in, and I'm feeling heaps better. Like, if I'm starting to feel like this is home, you know? I'm settling in, and I can just see where this bit of solitude, this bit of time, just like be so focused on me and work and what's in front of me, is going to be so awesome. And like, you can't complain. I sit here and it just, you know, a lot's gone on over the last week or so, but also just like the last 2 years really is kind of like led up to this moment. You know, it's pretty proud to be able to sit here and have an apartment to myself, and be really in a position now to go like all in on my goals and my dreams and my vision. And it feels surreal, especially yesterday, having like real human beings in front of me who are now like as a part of Blues and Greens in my team. Like, meeting all the boys yesterday was like such a wild out of body experience. Like, it just didn't feel, I don't know, it just didn't feel real, that there was like strangers as such sat with me who I've never met before. I think it was 10 of us who are now a part of Blues and Greens, and like have been working for Blues and Greens. And it's just like, I never once imagined, although I did, I always had big, but I never once imagined at this point now I'd have that. And it's easy to come in and see all this, and it's sort of happening all so quickly. But like, I'm only just like a little tiny bit into my journey, and I didn't want it to be this highlight reel documentation of what I'm doing, because the last 2 years hasn't been that whatsoever. And it's like brick, all these tiny little bricks that you don't realize are making a difference now are like making a difference, and you've got that wall in front of you. And it's cool to have one wall, but you know, we're building a castle, and gonna need more than just one wall. And what is cool now is to step back and be able to see that there is real progress, and it's really happening, and it's really coming together. And I can only imagine what's to come, and that's why I just want to capture these moments visually, but also just what's going on in my head. Just me and me, all alone in the city of Melbourne. It's nice and early. here in Melbourne. Lovely view. And it's definitely starting to kick in that I'm here on my own in a big new city. And there's always those thoughts of like, fuck, what are you doing? Like, why'd you come across the country on your own? But then that other little voice inside me says, you know what? Shut up. You're fucking here to do some pretty cool things. And I know I am. And I know it's going to be fucking awesome. And a chapter of my life that completely changes the trajectory that I'm on. So, not that I'm on a bad trajectory at all. And I'm pretty happy with that, where the trajectory is. But I just know that this is going to be something that grows far bigger than me. Look at that, can't complain. Sitting on the floor because I don't quite have my desk yet. But I just wanted to jump and say a few words before the day today. And a realization I've had is that in business, it's not a massive realization, but you know, if you can't service your clients, your members, your customers, then you're nothing. Something that I've found as a drop-off recently is, you know, we chat to the parents on the discovery calls, you know, identify that we can help out and a lot of those phone calls are mums in a lot of pain and a lot of struggle. And the drop-off that I find is then handing it over to the mentors, my team, and then not being able to get them, the kids, the teens, the parents on board because there's that drop off of standards, of time, of communication. I got 8 discovery calls today and I'm running through a bit of a new process with them, and that it will include scheduling in onboarding calls for both the parent and the young man, the young fella, the teenager, to make sure that we can service the members, the clients, the parents to the best of our ability. And, you know, it honestly hurts when I chat to a parent on these discovery calls and realise how much struggle they are in, and knowing that I genuinely believe we can help their son, and then it goes to the mentors and then they just fall off and they don't take step into our program. So it's tough, and I want to make sure that any member who deserves, needs and can benefit from our service, they can get it. I think today was one of those days where I was fucking exhausted as of 20 minutes ago or whatever, when I finished work and sat on the couch, and it would have been easy, and rightfully so, to just sit and watch some YouTube or some Netflix or something tonight. And then I guess alternatively, if you keep doing those things, when any bit of friction pops in and you start pulling out and you start telling yourself that you can take the easy option, that shit just stacks up against you. And it's like, as soon as you start to believe that there is that easy path out, you will just opt for it at any bit of friction. So I used to be super rock solid with that mentality and never ever take an easy option, and I want to bring that back. I just had a random thought that I want to rebrand Blues and Greens a little bit. So that starts with a logo. I think my logo is very basic and corporate and simple, and it doesn't really, as a standalone thing, capture what Blues and Greens is about at all. So I wanted to shift that up, and I just had that thought then. So I messaged someone on Instagram who has been following me, who's just an awesome drawer, and she's keen to draw something up. This new logo design, new rebrand could be something which lasts forever, and I feel like I'm ready to shift that visual presence a little bit and encapsulate Blues and Greens a little bit more. So there's my drawings that I sent her. Pretty horrible. I just want to give a little tour. Look at this thing. Sick little room. It's my my office for the day. Then we go out here. You ready? It's not the best view right now because the roof's closed. But we've got Marvel Stadium there, and usually you can see straight in there. Ocean views. City. Pretty cool. Makes me very proud of myself. For so long I've craved some sort of independence, and I never would have imagined to be able to move across country right now. There was someone in there. I got a bit nervous.
If there's one thing that I could genuinely sort of not stress enough is just the notion and keeping up to date with that. Like, I don't know if the other mentors do it, but it's something that I've just tried to really knuckle down on and just stay on top of, because one, it helps Harry with all the background stuff he has to do, but two, it's also just, I think, just the organisation thing. So being able to, obviously you're texting a lot to members, parents, to Harry, like other mentors. There's a lot of text messages going around. And I think if you're not up to date with that and keeping that up to where sort of you're at, it can get quite messy. So I think if you can just really stay on top of your Notion stuff and making sure that that's up to date, that will definitely help you with organisation and knowing where each member is at. Because
so today was a pretty big day. Less about just brain dumping and filling in like what happens on the day. That's not what I want this to be. But we onboarded a new 7 new mentors. I think it was today. I think there was 7 people on that call. And what I learnt today was that these mentors are the most important part of this entire business. And some of the mentors that I have are like such awesome fucking young men. They're older than me, most of them, but yeah, I'm just getting really proud of the level of quality people that are coming into the business, and it's so fucking crazy. I'm sitting here like just gazing over the city of Melbourne, kind of just in thought, and I just think it's fucking wild how far I've come. Yeah, I can't really believe it. You know, literally, 6 months ago it was, not even, when it was just me, no one else, and like, it's, I think from the outside looking in, and when people come in and see what's happening at this stage, you know, they just think that it was always, I don't know, like, I get a lot of commendments on like, oh, like, good on Harry for doing all this, and then I guess people come in and expect more, or see from the outside and be like, yeah, wow, that's awesome, like, he got in at the right time. And I don't know, I just reflect back on like, not only the last 6 months, but also like the 12, 18, 24 months prior to that, and it was just so much delusion. And that's what got me through, is just that delusion that there was no other option, and I just knew one way or another it was gonna work out. And you know, there was so many weeks and months on end where I was just like living in the negatives, had no money, no growth, no idea what my future would even begin to imagine to look like. There was just always that part of me, that delusional part of me, that just knew that one way or another things were going to click and things were going to work out. And if I was to forecast what the next 6 months look like, I could not even begin to imagine. But it started to make sense now, and there's proof for the work and the belief and everything else that I put in, because it used to just be belief. I think I just want this to be a reminder to myself and to anyone. People are going to think you're crazy. People are going to chuckle at you and laugh and belittle you and condescend and whatever, unintentionally or not. But just fucking back yourself in, keep showing up. And
and it had basically a dog lead on the back of it. stupid.
Yeah.
Because I was more concerned that he'd either run out in front of a car or I was going to break his hand or break my fingers trying to hold on to him. He's just always been like that. His eldest brother, like number one, he does cyber security for Google. Like he is Sheldon Cooper all over. So that's the sort of personalities that I'm used to with all the other children. And then there comes Jet.
What I'm finding is that business, especially in my head previously, is completely overcomplicated. And I brought Andre into the business, who's started out as my mentor, but he's sort of come in and playing a pretty high important role in Blues and Greens. And I have such a tendency to over-engineer everything and try and plan what different roles are going to look like or how different things are going to unfold, when really it's just simple. Let things happen and just, more members, more mentors, better mentors. That's really it. I know it's sounds simple on the surface, and there's obviously a lot that goes behind the scenes and has, but like this is kind of just a reminder to myself to just like simplify things and don't try and overcomplicate things, don't try and over-engineer things. And he also told me yesterday that I've got to leave the building 2 hours every day, because otherwise I'll just end up never leaving this apartment building. 2 hours every day. That's a lot. But this morning, I say that because this morning I went for a little run, then a walk, then a coffee. Now it's, can you see that? 9:51. So I've been up for about 2 hours, 3 hours. And I'm just going to start getting to work now. One last thing that I'm going to leave this on to close the week is when people tell you no, when people tell you that you can't do something, instead of trying to convince them, instead of trying to tell them that you can, just fucking show them. Go out and do the things you want to do. And prove with actions, not words. Let's go.